أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي اجعلني وزيرا من أهلي هارون من أخي واشدد به أزري واشركه في أمري الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد مبارك وسلم صلي عليه. All right, I think we can start, inshallah, bismillah. So we are continuing on reading from the rays. And this is the supreme sign, the seventh ray. And this is, I think, last week we were reading about the prophethood and his era, time, and what revolution he brought into the minds of the individuals who were with him at that time. So, and we kind of made the point that how we can benefit also from his teachings, and that we should take his, whatever the message he's bringing, and take his personality seriously. And in terms of how we need to connect with our source of existence. So just like he brought in the revolution in his era, we also, by following his practices, by taking his message seriously, we can also bring a revolution into our lives as well. So with that, let's start with the seventh. Is that correct? That's where we were? Fariha, can you confirm?
Yes, that's correct, the seventh.
Okay, bismillah, thank you. Okay, so the seventh, the family and companions of the Prophet, who with their insight, knowledge, and spiritual accomplishment are the most renowned, the most respected, the most celebrated, the most pious, and the most keensighted of men after the prophets, examined and scrutinized with the utmost attention, seriousness, and exactitude, all the states, thoughts, and conditions of this being, whether hidden or open. They came to the unanimous conclusion that he was the most truthful, exalted, and honest being in the world. And this, their unshakable affirmation and firm belief, is a proof like the daylight, attesting the reality of the sun. So let me read that again. The seventh, the family and companions of the Prophet, who with their insight, knowledge, and spiritual accomplishment are the most renowned. So historically we know they are most renowned, the most respected, the most celebrated, the most pious, and the most keen-sighted of men after the prophets. So what did they do? They examined and scrutinized with the utmost attention, seriousness, and exactitude all the states, thoughts, and conditions of this being, whether hidden or open. So this is the important aspect, I think, in the seventh, that you have to examine and scrutinize with careful attention, take him seriously, seriousness and exactitude, all the states, thoughts, and conditions of this being, whether hidden or open. So just like with that, following that examination, scrutinization, or listening carefully, paying attention, one can come to the conclusion that he was the most truthful, exalted, and honest being in the world. And this, their unshakable affirmation and firm belief, is a proof like the daylight attesting to the reality of the sun. attesting the reality of the sun. So I'll move on to the 8th, and you can always barge in. So what is the hidden or open is what Furia is asking. Hidden or open. So thoughts and condition of this being, whether hidden and open. So his thoughts and conditions, just like everybody has their thoughts going on. I may have some thoughts, you may have some thoughts. Everybody has their own particular conditions according to which they have their thoughts. So some you can share with us, some are not shared, are kept, are hidden. But you can see in terms of how the behavior, how the take of this individual would be, what would this individual be doing based on his conditions, how would he be living, which is a very interesting topic. I think we kind of touched upon that yesterday also, how one can follow the life and the living the way the prophets, peace and blessings be upon him, his way of basically how his mindset or how his feelings and emotions and were being worked on at his day and age, at his time. But now in our situation, how with the same method or with the same thoughtful process can we live our lives accordingly, because the challenges are different for us in our conditions. In his time the challenges were different. Everybody in their own time frame has their own kind of challenges. So that's what I understood from the hidden and or open. And Brother Ali, your hand is up, so please go ahead.
So there is a famous saying that can you tell me who your friend is? I will tell you who you are. And even more so, I can ask another question. Can you please let me speak separately to your wife and husband? I will really know who you are. Hidden and open. It means in his private life or how he behaves in the society. His family, that's why his family among the Muslims, all sections of the Muslim uh, agreed about the importance of his family, function of his family. If someone claims something, a position which is related to the life of the society and completely contradictory to the values, morals, traditions, customs of this society. Everything, customs, morals, values, and traditions of the society, and challenges the whole people. Of course, anybody who is a part of this society and he's got used to the life of this society will really be very careful to follow this man, a single man. And plus, he claims some strange things that the society is not accustomed to it. I received a message from my creator. It means the creator of the universe spoke to me and employed me to pass this message to you. What? Who are you? What do you mean? This message says all the values of this society is corrupt. What? Well, your life is corrupt too, man. What? I am corrupt? Yes, you are. Who are you? I'm a man like you, but my creator, your creator, tells me this. What a strange thing for the society to accept. Of course, they will scrutinize every detail in his life. Why? What is he up to? I would definitely say this. Now, really, what is this man after? What is he seeking? Does he want to be the leader, or who are you? In the society, an orphan, almost no family backing, poor, professional nothing, just simple man, no profession. And also, yes, he's an honest man. Everybody knew him as an honest man. No one said that you are a dishonest man. No. But they said, in your claim of receiving the message from God, you are a liar. They never said that, we know you, man. You keep telling a lie and fight, making up imaginary things. We know you who you are. Come on, get away. No, no, no. You seem to be so far, after 40 years of experience of his life, they never said that this, but only to claim this status, if you like, to receive the message. Of course, they will look at it, what is he after, carefully. He was an honest man, but what happened to him that he changed suddenly? What happened? So that is why hidden and secret, whatever aspect of his life, everybody must be extremely careful to check, especially a one who is going to get married with him and share his life. The others are going to follow him at the expense of their life, at the risk of their life. Would you go to somebody said that I received a message from the creator of the universe, and come on, let's fight. For example, two people, let's fight together against American state. Declare open objection and start insulting them, insulting their values. If you insult the value of the society, you will definitely find out yourself in prison, if not executed. For example, can you dare to tear down the American flag? Huh? It is a crime. American money, openly tear down, and not in a turmoil. You just get away from it. No one assumes the responsibility. No, this kind of demonstration somewhere else, not in America, is completely out of the control of American state. So it is legally a crime. Why? Flag, money represents American values. Look, it is a crime. This man is asking you to join to commit a crime together against the most powerful establishment of the state, which is the tribal life, especially saying that the slaves are not in a lower state in the society than their masters. What? Totality worldwide. Slavery was practiced and no one questioned the legitimacy of it so far. In the West, in the East, everywhere. And he said, no, no, everybody is equal before their creator. It is a big claim, and just without examining scrutinizing this man's behavior, no crazy man will follow this man. That makes the family and the companions, friends of the prophet who joined them in his struggle. They must be 100% positive about it. That's why we have to see that these people followed as a member of the family in observing his very secret life, and also friends, companions of the prophet. When they become a follower of this prophet, they change their life as well so radically that they change from being the most arrogant man, or some of them, of course, tyrant man, into a very pious man. And keeps the keensighted of men. It means it takes care of the people around them, sacrifice something for them, whatever he has. Of course, this is an extremely important case for us to take into account and examine these people's life and what they say, what they transfer. It is very important to understand the mission of the companions, and the family members are also companions, included in the companions. They transfer the message of this man, lifestyle of this man, so carefully that is very important to know what they did, how they changed, and which kind of message they conveyed to the following generations. It is extremely important because without the companions of the prophet, we have to understand from the very beginning that if the companions had not honestly, loyally transferred the message of the prophet, what functions the prophet will mean to us? We have no heritage. We have no honest transmission of his message to me. What shall I do with this man saying that 1400 years ago an ideal man studied, ideal man lived in this world, but we don't know anything about his life, what he said. Only the Quran he received, and the function of the messengership is destroyed. If there was no companions, honest companions that we can trust, their narrations, their transmissions. That is the position of the companions. For me, without the companions' function in the transmission of the message of the prophet, we cannot have anything, including the Quran, his message, because we cannot trust him. Who transferred it to us? It looks a very wonderful work, but how can we know that it is really revealed from God and the messenger has received it? No one really witnessing about it around him. You understand that importance of companions is almost the importance of the mission of the prophet himself. Because without this companion's transmission, mission of the prophet should die away as it dies away. That's why we have to be careful about the position of the companions in the life of the prophets and the transmission of his message. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Ali, for the elaboration. Would anybody like to share any comments so far?
Just wanted to add on, this was a very interesting comment shared by Brother Ali, Jazakallah khair, because it just really shakes you in terms of the profoundness of this message that is made available to us now. Like I personally haven't thought of this whole transferring and how everything is perfectly set up as well. Like you need other human beings as well in terms of helping me confirm the necessity of this message as being from the creator of the universe. So it's like everything in creation, every being around is a witness to how the truth gets conveyed or is manifested all around us. So Jazakallah khair.
Alhamdulillah, thank you for you as well. Okay, so should we continue? Let's see. The 8. So the cosmos indicates its maker, inscriber, and designer, who creates, administers, and arranges the cosmos. And through determining its measure and form and regulating it, has disposal over it as though it was a palace, a book, an exhibition, a spectacle. And so too, it indicates that it requires and necessitates, the cosmos indicates that the cosmos requires and necessitates an elevated herald, a truthful unveiler, a learned master, and a truthful teacher who will know and make known the divine purposes in the universe's creation. Requires and necessitates an elevated herald. So whoever the cosmos, and so too, the cosmos indicates that the cosmos requires and necessitates an elevated herald, a truthful unveiler, a learned master, and a truthful teacher who will know and make known the divine purposes in the universe's creation. Teach the dominical instances of wisdom in its changes and transformations. Give instruction in the results of its dutiful motions. Proclaim its essential value and the perfections of the beings within it. And express the meanings of that mighty book. It indicates that he is certain to exist. Thus the traveler knew that it testified to the truthfulness of this being, who performed these functions better than anyone, and to his being a most elevated and loyal official of the universe's creator. Okay, so the 8th point is about how the universe also, which indicates its maker, inscriber, and designer, who creates, administers, and arranges it, and through determining measure and form regulating it. And so it indicates that it requires and necessitates an elevated herald. So although we understand that whoever, we can question and wonder at who the maker, creator, whoever is bringing things into existence, but the universe itself also demands that there must be someone who can become its spokesman, a spokesperson, an elevated herald, someone who brings into light their existence and their meaningfulness. and how it portrays the qualities of their Lord. So a learned master and a truthful teacher who will know and make known. So make known what the divine purposes in the universe's creation. Teach the dominical instances of wisdom in its changes and transformations. Give instructions in the results of its dutiful motions. Give instructions in the results of its dutiful motions. Proclaim its essential value and the perfection of the beings within it, and express the meanings of that mighty book. It indicates that he is certain to exist. Thus the traveler knew that testified to the truthfulness of this being. The cosmos testified to the truthfulness of this being who performed these functions better than anyone, and to his being a most elevated and loyal official of the universe's creator. So an interesting take on how, a point of view how the universe is also in need of someone who proclaims it. Just like human beings need a teacher, even the universe also needs someone who can proclaim or mention their purpose in existence, their value, and the meaningful aspect that they are bringing. Faria, go ahead, please.
So you're saying that human beings are in need of teachers to teach them something. Yeah, so a teacher by definition is knowledgeable of the content, and because the teacher himself or herself has understood and comprehended and personally experienced the subject well, so hence he or she can disseminate and explain that knowledge to others. Now, thank you. That was a good point about the teacher analogy here, or whatever the author is mentioning. But I was wondering, and it's just because, you know, the part where the text here says that, and so too it indicates that it requires and necessitates an elevated herald, like you said, like a teacher, a truthful unveiler, a learned master, like these are all the qualities, a truthful teacher who will know and make known the divine purposes in the universe's creation. Teach the dominical instances of wisdom in its change and transformation. So it just occurred to me, I was just wondering, so pretty much what is being said here, or what is being mentioned here, is that prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, must have knowledge of the unseen, or in other words, perhaps the creator of the universe is providing him with this knowledge. So then he goes on teaching it to others, because I was thinking about this part, teach the dominical instances of wisdom. Somebody must be disseminating this knowledge. I don't know. I'm just wondering if we can unpack some more on what does this mean, teach the dominical instances of wisdom. So by definition, the prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, must have knowledge of the absolute wise one, or the absolute knowledgeable one.
Thank you, Faria. So I think that's an open comment or question. Anybody would like to share? Yeah, Suhail, go ahead.
So I don't know if this answers Freya's question, but what I took away from this is that in one respect, there's a man or a man who claims to be a prophet, but in another respect, that man doesn't like exist in isolation, but he exists in sort of his purpose of his existence is to understand the meaningful aspect of the book of the universe. Otherwise, if he doesn't exist, then what does it all mean? It's sort of purposeless. Not purposeless in the sense that somebody can't understand it, but if somebody doesn't understand it, then it means nothing to the human being. And in that regard, the universe is made in such a way and oriented in such a way, created in such a way to be understood by man or the human being, and for that, really, that fundamental purpose alone. And that's what the prophet does. And if he isn't there, then who else is there to make sense of it? Because the one who, as he wrote, makes, inscribes, and designs, creates, administers, arranges this universe, this book, needs to employ someone or ordain someone, choose someone to decipher it for humanity. There needs to be some individual or group of individuals, prophets, to make sense of it. Otherwise, it wouldn't make sense, or not make sense in the way in which he desires it to be understood. So it would still be a mystery or a riddle to a certain extent. And in this regard, it sort of expands the role of prophecy. A prophet is not it's not just an individual in history or just a man that comes and tells you some sort of morals and ethics, but really the moral, or the most fundamental moral principle, I guess you could say, is that man's purpose is to make sense of this world he is in. So it's sort of a universal perspective of prophethood. And if you don't take the prophet in this light, you're sort of, in a way, you're reducing him to sort of anybody else in this world. But his role is much more profound or universal. And you can't really find anybody equivalent to that, really, in history, other than the prophets, for that matter. But who else does one find that is employed by the maker of the universe, and thus makes sense of that universe, and then unveils that truth to the rest of the world? There really isn't any other group of individuals. So if he isn't truthful, then who else could be truthful in this regard? I mean, the fact that he does it testifies to his truthfulness, as he says, because there really isn't anyone else, and no one else can claim it. So that's what I took away from this. And I guess in this regard, my role or my position or my responsibility is to see the prophet as as an educator, as a teacher, truthful teacher, learned master, and unveiler of the truth, rather than trying to reduce him to do's and don'ts, as it often does, or try to reduce him to some sort of historical situation. But the relevance in my life is that what is he trying to tell me about this world, or what does it mean to me? So that's my position that I should see him in.
Thank you, Sohail. Yeah, so he is the man to follow and to take us the educator as the teacher based on how his support is as Faria also mentioned, that he's, I mean, all the message or the teaching does not belong to him, but there's a solid absolute support behind him that makes him the teacher or educator for me to follow and to learn from. And the whole universe actually is seeking that particular teacher, educator. Brother Ali, please go ahead.
In addition to what's said, the cosmos itself, the universe itself, witnesses that such a being must be here or on earth as far as human beings are concerned. In order to what? In order to wisdom in the existence of in the existence of the cosmos and its changes, its transformations, because so interesting. This universe is really interesting. Everybody knows that it is interesting. All the people are studying the universe. And I mean, it is very human to take notice of what is going on in this universe. Also, human feelings ask the question concerning the cosmos. But the cosmos itself says, I am such a being that there must be like a book. There must be a teacher. Otherwise, you human beings cannot understand anything of my anything of wisdom in my existence. So when we study the universe, it says definitely, look, I am continuously renewing, wonderful things are demonstrated in my being, and definitely you should ask that, what is the meaning of existence of this universe? Universe itself, as it is functioning here, proclaims that there must be a teacher who will teach the meaning, the wisdom in the very existence of itself, of the universe. It is interesting to say that universe, the way it is, necessitates that there must be a teacher explaining what is the meaning of the universe. Why is it here? Where did it come? Where did it come from, etc.? Because although the universe seems to be, it's very clear in front of me, but if you ask, what do you mean? Why are you as you are? What do you mean? What are you doing here? Where did you come from? Human beings ask the question. And the universe says everything is meaningful, even your existence is meaningful. So universe forces me to ask why I am here, and universe forces me to ask also why the universe is here. That's the mutual relationship between a conscious human being and the universe. Universe's wisdom, the meaningful existence, purposeful existence, makes it necessary for human beings that universe is telling me in the way as it is that it is like a book and it must have a teacher, and forces me to look for this teacher. So how can I find the teacher here if the universe forces me in its existence? A teacher must come up and teach the meaning of this universe in its existence must be 100% perfect. fitting to the way that it exists. The universe tells me this. Partial explanations or saying that how I am, the universe says, how I am working is not for the human curiosity. It is just for exploiting me. They are studying to exploit me. But while they are studying how I am working, the way I work forces the man to ask the question, why I am so wonderful and useful. Lots of secrets are hidden in my existence. The more you discover, you realize that the more things there are in my existence. What is the purpose of all this? All this forces me to look for a teacher which will teach me, which the human being, its meaning, its purpose. Of course, this teacher is cannot be a one who is called nowadays a scientist who studies how it is working and saying that it is a result of accident. It is a result of accident. It means the universe, the way it works, declares that it is an insult to me. Don't take these guys seriously. Really tell me what my source of existence is and what he tells me, what he tells the human being through my existence. Through my existence. That is, we have to say, look, did you make yourself? Universe says, I can't. I have no such quality. Who made you then? And that, yeah, that is the thing you have to investigate. How can I investigate? There is nothing here apart from you. I'm speaking to the universe now. So he says, yeah, I cannot teach you where I came from. Although I give the clues that I must come from somewhere mysterious. All the universe is speaking now in its existence. But you can get the news from a teacher. There must be a teacher. All human beings, you need a teacher to introduce the source, the purpose of my existence to you. Look for it. There must be. So the very existence of the universe necessitates the existence of the messengership. That's what I understood from the eighth. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Ali. So what did you say? The very existence of what? The universe necessitates the
Yeah, the very
existence of the messenger.
the very existence of the universe necessitates the existence of the messenger teacher who is instructed by the source of the existence of the universe to tell me in the wisdom in its existence.
Yeah, thank you. So in a way, I mean, the universe also doesn't tell me much about why it's there, and human beings also cannot tell me much. So that's why we need a teacher who can, instructed by the one who made the universe, who made me, who made the universe. So it does necessitate. Because the universe also says, help, this guy individual doesn't understand what my purpose here is. So tell him that we are meaningful beings. I'm just making a joke right there. But in a way, that's what the universe would claim, that appoint somebody who would tell him our meaningful aspect and what we are here for. Anybody else would like to say anything on the 8th? Okay, so we'll go to the 9th. There is behind the veil one who wishes to demonstrate with these ingenious and wise artifacts the perfection of his talent and art. There is behind the veil one who wishes to demonstrate with these ingenious and wise artifacts the perfection of his talent and art, to make himself known and loved by means of these countless, adorned, and decorated creations. To make himself known and loved by means of these countless, adorned, and decorated creations. To evoke praise and thanks through the unnumbered, pleasurable, and valuable bounties he bestows. To evoke praise and thanks through the unnumbered, pleasurable, and valuable bounties he bestows. To cause men to worship him with gratitude and appreciation in the face of his dominicality. To cause men to worship him with gratitude and appreciation in the face of his dominicality. Through his solicitous and protective sustenance of life, and his provision of nurture and bounty in such manner as to satisfy the most delicate of tastes and appetites, to manifest his divinity through the change of seasons, the alternation of night and day, and through all his magnificent and majestic deeds, all his awe-inspiring and wise acts and creativity, and thereby to cause men to believe in his divinity, in submission, humility, and obedience. To manifest his divinity through the change of seasons, the alternation of night and day, and through all his magnificent and majestic deeds, all his awe-inspiring and wise acts and creativity, and thereby to cause men to believe in his divinity, in submission, humility, and obedience. Everything in the universe acts as a veil that we uncover and see all the beautiful things, or the decorations, as he says, adorned, countless adorned and decorated creations. What are they there for? To evoke praise and thanks through the unnumbered, pleasurable, and valuable bounties that he bestows. So they're all there for us human beings, for us to worship him with gratitude and appreciation in the face of his dominicality. The simple things that we take for granted, all these are just provisions and gifts that are, even the wind that blows, the birds that are chirping, clouds that are moving, we just take them as if they are like that, just always there. But these are all something that are amazingly being obedient to their Lord, and one just has to be humble enough to acknowledge that and appreciate and be thankful, grateful to the one who is presenting all these to us, and his provision of nurture and bounty in such manner as to satisfy the most delicate of tastes and appetites, to manifest his divinity through the change of seasons, the alternation of night and day, and through all his magnificent and majestic deeds, all his awe-inspiring and wise acts and creativity, and thereby to cause men to believe in his divinity, in submission, humility, and obedience, and to demonstrate his justice and truthfulness by at all times protecting virtue and the virtuous, by at all times protecting virtue and the virtuous, and destroying evil and the evil, by annihilating with blows from heaven the oppressor and the liar, by annihilating with blows from heaven the oppressor and the liar. There will of a certainty be at the side of this unseen being, his most beloved creature and most devoted bondsman, his most beloved creature and most devoted bondsman, who, serving the purposes that have just been mentioned, discovers and unravels the talisman and riddle of the creation of the universe, discovers and unravels the talisman and riddle of the creation of the universe, who acts always in the name of that creator, who acts always in the name of that creator, who seeks aid and success from him and who receives them from him, who seeks aid and success from him and who receives them from him. Muhammad of Quraysh, peace and blessings be upon him. And thereby to cause men to believe in his divinity and submission, humility and obedience, and to demonstrate his justice and truthfulness by at all times protecting virtue and the virtuous, and destroying evil by annihilating with blows from heaven the oppressor and the liar. There will of a certainty be at the side of this unseen being, his most beloved creature and most devoted bondsman, who, serving the purposes that have just been mentioned, discovers and unravels the talisman and riddle of the creation of the universe, who acts always in the name of that creator, who seeks aid and success from him, and who receives them from him. Muhammad of Quraysh, peace and blessings be upon him. The traveler further said, addressing his own intellect, since these 9 truths bear witness to the truthfulness of this being, he must be the source of glory of mankind and the source of honor for the world. Since these 9 truths bear witness to the truthfulness of this being, he must be the source of glory of mankind and the source of honor for the world. If we therefore call him the pride of the world and glory of the sons of Adam, it will be fitting. If we therefore call him the pride of the world and glory of the sons of Adam, it will be fitting. The fact that the awesome sovereignty of that decree of the compassionate one, the Quran of miraculous exposition that he holds in his hand, has conquered half the world, together with his individual perfections and exalted virtues, shows that he is the most important personage in the world. The most important word concerning our Creator is that which he utters. Would anybody like to comment on this section so far? Faria, go ahead.
It's interesting section right now because I think it all boils down to the purpose of existence of this universe. So it's all portrayed or reflected in this being. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him. I was just also caught up with the last sentence you read. The most important word concerning our Creator is that which he utters. It seems that I think trying to really make sense of our existence here and what this universe points to, leads you to seeking answer, and this being, peace and blessings be upon him, is helping us do that. So it's sort of like he's, what do you say? He's paving the way for all of us, or people, anyone who's really seeking to truly understand the meaning of this existence and what it points to, should benefit from it, should definitely get answers to their queries. Yeah, just some thoughts, but I was also interestedly caught up with the most important word concerning our Creator is that which he utters. So that's also coming in from his, it's also like an inspiration, like he's inspired, divinely inspired, to convey the message. So not only is there a understanding at the personal level, but then that also becomes like a channel for you and I to listen to or hear what the Creator of the universe says. Just some rough thoughts, but yeah, let's see what gets unfolded, inshallah.
Thank you for Rehab, Brother Ali. Please go ahead.
I understood from the ninth that the first paragraph is an independent point that we have to pay attention to, because there are some people interesting. They say the universe itself must have a creator who, they don't really emphasize on who gave existence to it, but generally at the lowest level, they admit that this universe needs a designer, because design, universe's order, cannot exist by the by the effect of the matter, because matter itself exists within the desire, sorry, within the order. If there was no order, there would be no matter. If there was no matter, sorry, I mean, it is then a logical contradiction. If there was no matter, we would never talk about the order of the order in the existence of the matter. So obvious, clear contradiction. That's why at the minimum level, most of the people of the world population, the world's population, believes that this universe must have a designer. At least some of the group they call this designer as architect of the universe. This is the minimum level. But what is the problem? If there was the creator of this universe, these people stay there, and there will be another contradiction. If the universe had a creator, oh no, sorry, has the creator, which almost most of the humanity agrees on it, although some people are so obstinate not to accept that the universe existed by themselves, but that is a choice. You can claim everything. You can say it, but there is no sign for it. There is no I wouldn't say evidence, not the evidence, sign even for it. But they are so obstinate not to accept the creator because they know if these people are very clever. They are called philosophers. They know that if they admit that the universe is a creator, so he must have a purpose. It's a conscious being, and the purpose cannot be understood from the universe itself because universe is a book, and without the teacher, a book means nothing. So it will take them to follow a message delivered by a person who is not a scientist. So they will find themselves in trouble, like the Jewish population. The children of Israel found that Jesus was teaching the very fundamentals of the Torah. And they said, what authority he has? He has not been trained through the rabbinic education system. He is a self-educated man, according to them. Of course, it must be a God-educated man, but they say he's a self-educated man. If he's a self-educated man, it means he's just making up himself, his own whims. And they took it as a competition, and they wanted to kill him. That's what the history says. But also reality demonstrates this too, what we inherit from the teachings of Jesus. So like this, it is a matter of status. That's why people don't accept, because they would contradict themselves, their own definition of value. Definition of value is to study the universe and come up with the information which explains how the universe is working. That's called scientific study. But the reasoning about it, which is technically called philosophy of this work, they feel nothing about it. They say it is not our job. Philosophy not necessarily making philosophizing the subject. No, the interpretation of this event, how you explain the existence, the purpose of these events. So it is not within the capacity of scientific studies, therefore within the capacity of scientists. Only those philosophers, scientists, made comment on the purpose of the existence and how to explain its existence. Nowadays, especially this 21st century, scientists are not philosophers as well. If you study the history of philosophy or history of scientific developments, you will find them, all the great scientists used to be as well great philosophers. But what they did, what they presented to humanity as a result of philosophical studies or philosophical interpretations was only a partial explanation of what they concluded. But the full explanation of the existence of the universe was not presented to humanity by philosophers. So the purpose of human existence, for example, they just said, okay, enjoy yourself. And the purpose is just to benefit from the universe as much as you can. And also just follow your own feelings, and whatever you have in yourself, follow it and be consistent with your feelings as much as your relationship with the universe is concerned, not question the source of existence of the universe. They are all, even not in their partial being partial, they are not consistent within themselves either. Of course, somebody we need to study that if we are interested in. I wouldn't encourage you because lots of trash you will garbage you will put on your mind to keep you busy. So I spend a lot of time on it. I'm fed up with it, so I wouldn't advise it. So if we understand that universe must have a creator, necessarily we should ask this creator, the notion of this creator, the concept of this creator. This, if I believe, if I conclude that the universe must have a creator who gave existence to it consciously, deliberately, okay, then he must explain it. He must tell me why he did all this work. So that's why, as an extension of the ninth, the second chapter went into studying the decree of this creator. It means declaration of this creator, what he meant by creating this, how he introduced himself to establish justice in this world. And there must be a teacher. I am going to appoint a teacher to practice the content of my explanation. So that is why we conclude from the ninth, the first paragraph, God witnesses the concept of God that we conclude. God witnesses the necessity of the existence of the prophet. The second paragraph we read today, then this God must explain why he created this universe and what is the source of the source of the existence of this universe, so that this source, which kind of qualities he has, and how are we going to really complement this quality of the universe in our existence. There are this is a chain of thinking that necessitates each other. Universe necessitates that there must be a teacher, and universe necessitates that it must have a creator, and acceptance of the creator necessitates there must be a messenger, teacher, and the creator must explain the reason why he has created the universe, how he has created the universe, and the conscious beings, what he expects of the conscious beings in the face of this reality. Now, the existence of this speech, this word, this declaration, his declaration, explanation, necessitates that it must have a teacher. Do you understand the chain of thinking? That's what we have been following today. So from the companions, we started the importance of the companions, how the existence of the companions necessitates that these people have undergone a so revolutionary change in their life, and they became more pious, more and more honest, the most pious, most honest people, and their existence demonstrates that there must be a teacher they are following. They have been instructed. And then the universe itself, and then the source of the existence of the universe itself, and then the declaration of the source of the universe necessitates that there must be or there must be messengers, teachers to instruct what the purpose of existence is, and under the direction, under the surveillance of the creator of the universe. That is called messengers. These are the very fundamental reasons. I mean, not only this one, we have been reading a lot other elements, but today, very fundamental reasons that we must find out this teacher and we must get his instruction, learn, and we need to follow it. It's a very substantial and very unusual way of understanding the necessity of the messengership. I mean, I don't know much at all, but as far as I know, I can easily say that I have never seen such explanation for the necessity of the messengership in the world. But I don't know. But if there was, there would be some narrations. This way of approach is very unique and it's amazing. So we have to pay attention to it and benefit from it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Brother Ali. Anybody else would like to comment or share something on this approach, on seeing the necessity of the prophethood from this journey as a human being, how everything in our experience, the universe, along with the previous generations and the contemporaries of the prophet, the companions, necessitated that there must be a being who is the teacher, the educator, and the qualities also that are being portrayed in the universe, where the source of existence also is witnessing that there must be someone who can proclaim, who's always acting in the name of the Lord and seeks success from him, receives from him. Indeed, it's a very unique way to see how the necessity of the prophethood is. Okay, if not, the traveler, do we study this? Yeah. So he brings forth the message and the Quran, which is word from God, and which is now everybody's benefiting from that. Like, it also further enhances the importance of how serious he is and his personage to be appointed and in bringing forth the message from the Lord of the universe. So now see the foundation of the summons of this extraordinary being and the aim of all his life, based on the strength furnished by his hundreds of decisive and evident and manifest miracles, and the thousands of exalted fundamental truths contained in his religion, was to prove and bear witness to the existence of the necessary existent, his unity, attributes, and names, to affirm, proclaim, and announce him. He is therefore like a sun in the cosmos, the most brilliant proof of our Creator, this being whom we call the beloved of God. There are three forms of great and infallible consensus, each of which affirms, confirms, and puts its signature to the witness he bears. The first, the unanimous affirmation
Can
made.
you read this introductory passage or the paragraph once more, please? I couldn't concentrate on it. Maybe if you are satisfied, but I need to reread it and follow
Okay,
it.
let's do it, yes. So now see, the foundation of the summons of this extraordinary being and the aim of all his life, the foundation of the summons of this extraordinary being and the aim of all his life, based on the strength furnished by his hundreds of decisive and evident and manifest miracles, and the thousands of exalted fundamental truths contained in his religion, was to prove and bear witness to the existence of the necessary existent, that's one, his unity, attributes, and names, to affirm, proclaim, and announce him. So that's what the foundation of the summons, which means the message that he brings, the foundation of his teachings, the basic fundamental teachings, and what his purpose in life is. His purpose in life is for, for me or for everyone, the whole universe, to acknowledge, bear witness to the existence of the necessary existent, that everything emanates, is this being is absolute, everything comes from him, all the qualities, attributes, and names. So I affirm them, proclaim, and announce that being. So that is my purpose as well. Whatever his purpose is becomes my purpose. So Brother Lee, would you like to comment on this?
I am just thinking of reflecting on it, and something I'm trying to check whether the translation of one pronoun is right or wrong. So I'm concentrating on something else. Yeah. So please go ahead, or
Sure.
you discuss.
Yeah. Thank you. You can go ahead. Would anybody else want to share anything on what they took away from this? Now, this is something that the human being is coming as a conclusion, now see. And this is how the author is sharing as a traveler in this universe. That whatever we are seeing, the necessary, the need, or the necessary need of this being, of this herald, this teacher, in everybody's life foundation, and what the aim and purpose is. Like all his miracles have been what is to proclaim and bear witness to the absolute one, the necessary existent one, and to introduce everyone, human beings, to who their Lord is, what their purpose and aim in life is. So he'll go ahead.
I was just going to say along those lines, foundation of the summons. I think Ferdy was asking what a summons referred to. I think summons means his message, something that's summoning people to something. So his message or his call, the guidance he brings. And as he said, everything comes to support that message, that one individual. All the miracles manifest and evident, all the truths in the message he brings, all of it, they come to support fundamentally, as he said, the existence of a necessarily existent one, unity, attributes, names, to affirm, proclaim, and announce him. So, in a sense, as he puts it, he's like a sun in the cosmos in that the light of his existence is there to sort of disperse darkness or to make people aware of that truth. And what he says or what he brings and the way in which the entirety of the cosmos supports his message and the Quran supports his mission is the proof of the creator of the heavens and the earth. In that, it's interesting how so many things are brought together for one individual to bear witness to the existence of a necessarily existent one, his absoluteness, his unity, his attributes and names. So much is brought together in one individual. It's as if the entirety of the cosmos comes together for him, so that this message can be known. That is really, as he says, the most brilliant proof of the creator of the heavens and the earth. So that's what I took away from this paragraph.
Beautiful. Thanks for sharing, Sohail. Brother Ali, are you there? Would you like to comment? Please go ahead.
I am here. I now try to understand something. Now, we said in 2 paragraphs before, the Quran, universe witnesses its creator. And this creator, the existence of this creator, witnesses that there must be a messenger. Now, that's what we studied. And this creator must speak. And the speech necessitates the teacher, the messenger as well, to explain what it is, practice it, etc. So Quran necessitates it. So in this paragraph, the last paragraph, actually, we can divide this paragraph, as far as I understand, into 2. So the very existence of the prophet itself, together with his miracles, together with his work, wonderful work, together with his message and the representation of the message, points to or announces, and for us necessitates to conclude that the necessary existent and his unity, the absoluteness, his attributes, his qualities, etc. All these qualities announces that. Now, as a response back, this universe must have a conscious being who has these qualities. It means God witnesses that, very simple language, God witnesses that, the belief in God witnesses that there must be a messenger, and the very existence of the messenger witnesses that what we understand, that the source of existence of this universe must have these qualities, and these qualities necessitates that there must be a being who has these qualities. It means points to or witnesses the very existence of God. It means mutual witnessing to each other. Why is it important? There are, you know that, I mean, you must have heard a lot among the Muslim population, even some people who study the Quran, they say Quran is a wonderful book. The believers in the Quran, Muslim believers, say Quran is my guide. What it is important now to notice for us, if someone says Quran is a wonderful guide for me, I don't need the prophet. Why? There are two reasons proposed or put forward to other people by these people, the pioneers of this idea, which is really very prevalent in the world now. I don't know whether you are aware of it. I think you are. I mean, if you get involved in the community, you can really see that there are some people who say, all right, we follow the Quran. Quran is enough. Why? Because the why not prophet, the messenger? Because they say it's a very simple-mindedness, but it is a subject, of course. They say because the hadith narrations are not reliable. That's the first reason, but not reliable. But you cannot really throw all of them and dump them into the dumper. So, but at the same time, that's an excuse. We know that it is an excuse, and we can experience it within ourselves. Why? Because it will leave me alone in interpreting the Quran, which is a very, very abstract notions, like the Constitution. Yeah, for example, if I get the Constitution, don't pay attention to the laws at all, what happens? I can interpret the Constitution in any way I want, according to my desire. That's why they want to get away, the prophet, from the way that they can exercise their egoistic tendencies, what they want, and also self-centric attitude. I can understand God's word. I don't need another person to help me understand the content of God's word. That is egoistic, as if I can understand the textbook. I don't have to go to a school and listen to the teachers, etc. That's the same thing, actually. That is one reason they say that artificial excuses to me that hadith narrations are not reliable. The second is, it's a very, very important thing that we have to bear in mind. Oh, the prophet may be a very wonderful man. Of course, history says he was an honest man. Okay, I don't deny. Why should I deny? But I don't take him as an example, as a pattern for my life, because his life was so, it took place at a very simple society, uneducated society, and all the lifestyles are not really valid now. What shall I do? It looks like very reasonable. What shall I do in the way that a person educated the Bedouins, pagans, and he didn't have any knowledge, any information, any education. So how can I take a lesson from his life and practice it now? Now everybody is more or less educated, aware of lots of things, and lifestyle has changed completely. So I have to leave him behind. That's the reason. But what is presented to our attention in this first part of the yeah, him. Yes, that is what the are highlighted on the screen. This part, what this person teaches us, unity and names, and announce his attributes, his names, his how do you say, the names, attributes, his absolute qualities to human beings, So that's why his practice, I think, sorry, there was a note attracted my attention, but
Sorry, I was just commenting on for the question that was on the chat. What is the summons, the foundation of the summons of this extraordinary being and the aim of it all his life?
hidden or open or take, what does summons refer to? Where is it? Sorry, can you help me
The
understand?
foundation of the
I
summons.
see. I see. Foundations of the summons of his extraordinary being and the aim of his life. Yeah. Yes, that is the summons. Summons of it is a calling from his extraordinary being and aim of all his life. Aim of all his life took place. I mean, a little bit. It is right. It is a very right question, but diverted my way of thinking. So I may go back to my way of thinking and then come to this point as quick as possible. Is the time up?
Sorry, we have some minutes for you.
So 5:30. Okay. Let's not wait. Let me not wait time, for you as well. So what he teaches, practices, even at a very simple level, we have to see that this pagan, violent, very, if you like, primitive societies, people, they became in 23 years' time the masters, the pioneers of the whole civilizations, destroyed the main points of civilizations and powers of that society. How could they do it? Which kind of revelation they underwent so that they were so successful in 23 years' time? For example, in order to become a professional in your very profession, but not very sophisticated, you study, and I studied more than 30 years. You study, you are not like me, you are more clever. 22 years in order to become a very simple professional man in a very simple level, very not high qualified level. It takes 30 years, even more. So if a person just gains one specialty in a very particular subject in 23 years' time, compared to this man's extraordinary work and his aim of his life, produced such a group of people who became the leaders of this their own time. So that was a very interesting event happened in history, peerless event. No one can say that a man rose among the most arrogant people and changed their life to become the most delicate people, most just, intelligent, diligent, delicate people, kind people, and became the leaders of the world in 23 years' time. Can history show any group of people in the world? Not at all. Yeah. They performed. How they do it? Because these men practiced. That is the important point. This man, this person, practiced and taught under the understanding of the absolute names of the Creator. It means his practice included all degrees of the manifestations of the qualities of the Creator in this world and in the life of individual people. So my potentiality, which is immense, has undergone the education and teachings of this person, and it became the, if you like, seed, the very fundamental pattern of life that we have to do, we have to follow, we have to learn from. That is, his being is summoning us to this result, coming there. Look, you have to follow this man in order to become the most developed, improved, educated under the instruction of the Creator, whose qualities are absolute. So we are under the umbrella of the absoluteness of the qualities of the Creator, and the teacher of this school is only one man, who's called Muhammad. That is why the next paragraph, the second section of the last paragraph, he is therefore the sun in the cosmos, he the most brilliant proof of our Creator, this being whom we call the beloved of God. It means really he acted in the way that perfectly fitting in the purpose of the creation of this world. The purpose of the creation of this world was so perfectly fulfilled through his obedience, his acts, his proclamations, so that if someone follows this person's teaching at under any circumstances, this person is not going to fail in his life. Thank you, but really I spoke a lot. I ask for forgiveness, please.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Brother Ali. Adam wanted to speak also. Go ahead, Adam.
Assalamu alaikum. Okay, my question, it's actually a question. I have to admit before I go further, I was in and out today with the discussion, but I understand, I think, the last portion. We often hear that in this reading that the impact that this man had on so many people. And this is maybe a separate topic, you can tell me, so we can just end it. I know it's late, but when we see the world today, half of the world, or we say 1/5 of the world, benefits from it. There's another group, quite large, they benefit from another teaching. Can you, because I think you have some background with it, have you ever seen what the impact is from the other one? They also claim to be following God or some religious theological structure. So can we, or is it possible to share any comments on how that community was impacted and its differences?
Brother Ali, go ahead if you have time.
Now, I know if somebody wants to leave, they are welcome to me. I don't mind at all. I don't think the moderator minds as well. I hopefully not. So the very important question, because they say, okay, the religion, the understanding this person introduced to the world changed the life of at least the 1/5 of the population of the world. Now, how about the 4 of the 5, the population of the world? They are more larger in number. Now, what we see now, how these teachings radically change one's life, from being a very aimless, purposeless person into a man of really God, if you like, real man of God. It means everything is in the name of God. Okay, let's look at not the religious Christian community. Let's look at the secular community. Which kind of change They succeeded. Nothing, just be a consumer, imitate the fashion. There is no radical change in their life, in the life of the people. The living conditions are contrary to human nature. They all enslaved human beings. Whereas the teachings of this prophet saved the people from being in a slavery position and made them the masters of the world. There's a radical change. This radical change, for example, how many successful scientists goes and teach in a university setting? How many students enroll to the university in his class? 500. 500 students took his class. How many of them graduate? 400. How many of them become succeed in doing master in the subject? Out of 100, let's say 100. Out of 400, 100. And then how many of them succeed in PhD? 2 or 3. Look, as the degree of the value of the teaching increases, the followers, the value of the followers drop. Now, in the case of Christianity, how much the Christianity has an effect on the life of the people? Has Christianity saved the life of the people from becoming just consumer parts of the whole society, contributing the an aggressive, or not aggressive really, wrong treatment of the poor people, or supporting the rich? Where is the radical change? In Christendom, although the number doubles the population of the Muslim, it doesn't. I would say, I mean, most of the population of the nowadays Muslim community, not much different from, I mean, there is a difference, we must be honest, but not really radically different from Christian world. Although we pray and then, but our life is not different from an ordinary Christian man. Most of us here, but still, radical change was possible in the life of the people who are educated by this man. But how many radical change took place in the population of Christendom? I think if you really compare it, it is in how to say incomparable. What way? I don't know the language. Incomparable at all. You cannot compare it. Uncomparable. I don't know the word. Yeah, you cannot compare it. It means, I mean, changing the people is not important. Having 500 students is the class is not important. How much change in their radical change in their life? Only 2 out of 500. Those people who become successful in their 2 people become successful in their doctorate studies. One of them becomes somehow professor. So we have to value according to the quantity, according to quality, not quantity. So really, of course, nowadays we cannot say that yes, population of the people 5%, fifth, I would say 20% of the population of the people say we are Muslims, but radical change took place in the area of Islam, but not radical change took place in any other area. For example, socialism didn't change people's life, and capitalism is just made everything worse. Christendom just they go to church and then believe in God and confuse the belief in God with something else. That is their problem, and their lifestyle change, but not a radical change. If a person become Christian, do you think he consumes less? I don't think so. Do you think he supports injustice? Yes, I don't think so. Maybe humanists uh, uh, supports justice more than the Christians. Also opposes injustice more than the Christians. But you say, how about the Muslims? Somehow much better in population wise. But as far as his teaching is concerned, definitely radically different from what is going on in the world, and it is not, you cannot compare it with any other, if you like, way of life. That's what I can say on it.
Thank you.
I guess, I'm sorry. Can I just add? I know it's late. Actually, why don't we take? I'm sorry. I'll end for today or stop dinner now. Sorry.
No, go ahead. If you want to say. We say.
Yeah, it might make it a long discussion. I prefer stop now. I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you. So you can bring it up next week, inshallah. Thank you, everyone, for your comments. Alhamdulillah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma alamtana innaka anta alim hakim. Wa akhiru da'wahum alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Bi hurmati surati al-Fatiha.